It's me, Isaiah. I was going to do short explanation on all the Jojo books, depending on how many parts all of you want, and how to see how many people watch it and actually like it. But for right now, I'll do part 1. It's an overall overview and telling you how good it is, just in case if you haven't read it. First volume, great volume, great explanation. Most books don't explain very well. I don't even know how many pages is there. Whatever, it's like 150 around there. Great explanation, good lead up, but there's not a lot of the action. So I'll tell you one big thing about this whole part. This whole part doesn't have a lot of everything. It's just like leading up to the good parts. It's like it has its, if you like not really romance, more like a chivalry type part. Like this whole part is just based on chivalry. Like Jonathan Joestar has a brother named Dio, well, adopted brother, who had a shitty father. After the shitty father died, Dio, who killed him, moved in with Jonathan. Jonathan fell in love with this girl named Irina. Dio kissed Irina, started a big fight with all of them. They got older, then Dio got the mask that Jonathan's father had, which then proceeded to turn into a vampire by getting blood on it. Jonathan's father's blood, I think. And, after that, he spends his time training with Will Antonio Zeppeli, and it's right after he lights the mansion on fire, he meets I need to find it, because it's like, yep, here it is. Meets him for the first time. Baron von Zeppeli. His family line only appears in like 2 parts. The first and the second part, with the second part having Caesar Zeppeli. Will Antonio Zeppeli, one of the best parts. We can't forget about Speedwagon though. Speedwagon, the waifu, master. Can't get rid of him. No, can't. No Speedwagon, no Jojo, because he's still working all the way up into part 6. And we're not going to talk about part 6. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. But, overall, this whole part happened from bad father. He killed his bad father. Rich family, bad manners. Sibling rivalry, since he's trying to kill his father and also kissed Irina and killed his dog by burning it alive. Then he meets weird, creepy old guy that has magic powers from breathing, and then gives it to him. He learns how to do Hamon so well that he can almost defeat Dio. Then there's like the to be continued, like, oh, Dio is not dead, until we get to part 2, which is explaining Joseph, which is Jonathan's grandson, because the next person in that family tree was I don't even remember his name. It was a Joestar that was in the Air Force back in World War I, I guess. One of Dio's vampire minions, which he created, managed to survive until World War I. And the Joestar figured out that he was a zombie, and he was trying to kill him, but then it looked like the Joestars killed someone that wasn't a zombie because it was a commander. So, after that, he was executed, which his wife, also known as Lisa, which was saved by Irina right before Jonathan died in the boat, and just continued on the way with overall backstory. I'm just explaining the first 2 parts, giving my overview, and just rating out of the first part before I finish like the second part. Story, 6 out of 10. Action, 5 out of 10. But just like characters, 10 out of 10. They really had Jack the Ripper in volume 2, man. Like, Jack the Ripper, man, come on, that's like the best. But overall, I'm gonna put this at like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. It can't get higher, man. It's just the action and stories, meh. But once it leads up to the second part, which was like the best part to me, but we're not gonna dive into has all the weird stuff like the Nazis and the Pillar Men. That's just the main enemies. Turns out Dio wasn't the only person to have a stone mask. It turns out that these people called Pillar Men, who created the masks, well, Cars did, the main Pillar Man. The rest of them were his like minions or guardian helpers, named Wamu, Cars, and AC/DC. Or AC/DC. They pronounce it like an idiot to try and not get like copyright or something. Yeah, I have them all up. I had the first part, second part, and the third part. But second part, Lisa, who was the kid Arena saved, got angry and started training Hamon so much that she became the master of it, like entire mastery of the whole entire Hamon thing. Then, after that, she stopped it and just started teaching people Hamon. And then Caesar, who was Will Antonio Zeppeli, was his grandfather. Will Antonio Zeppeli had a kid, which also was trained by Lisa. Caesar looked up to his father for a long time. And then his father left. He had to leave to train full on, but he never left his kids with anything. He just left straight up, took everything and left. Then Caesar had to just steal, become like everything. I think the only thing he didn't commit was murder, apparently, but then he proceeded to commit murder multiple times. After that, Jonathan met up with like a Speedwagon, Smokey, and a few others, and they got them all to Lisa with Caesar, and then they trained a crap ton and Joseph had to like wear a mask and climb the oil pit. That was like a big part. But the biggest parts is like a lot of the characters died off. Like even in the first part, like a lot of the good ones died. Second part, a lot of the good ones died. A lot of the good ones die. It's kind of sad. Long story short, Cars wants to become the ultimate being. He does, but then he gets shot into space by Joseph with an airplane and a volcano and some rocks. And then before that, he killed AC/DC and Wamu. Then Caesar died along the way. And he ended up marrying Suzy Q, which was the maid of Lisa. And after that, Cars is still technically alive in space, but after that, continues on to Joseph having a kid with Suzy Q. Holly was her name, I think. Oh, it's been a bit. And named Holly. Then Holly Kujo, since she married a Japanese jazz musician, which then carried on to part 3, but part 3 is not what I'm explaining today. Part 1 and part 2. This is just like a quick summary and like a rating. Part 2, my favorite part, but still I gotta give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Just because it's just like, it's not fully rounded, it's just, it was growing in still. Since it's the second part, it was still growing into itself, being a JoJo book, but that was it. So, beat the 10 minutes, so I think I am done. And if anyone wants any more or summaries or shitty overviews, well, let's see if anyone liked it. Bye.